Chosen one, stop scrolling. This message was hidden for your ears only. Because something just happened in the spiritual realm. Something the enemy never expected. And if you're here, it means heaven already took notice. The moment darkness was forced to kneel. There are battles no one sees. Fights that happen while the world sleeps. You felt pressure without explanation. Resistance without reason. That was not coincidence, that was proof. The enemy does not bow easily. But there comes a moment when light grows too loud to silence. When truth becomes too heavy to suppress. That moment was triggered by you. Yes, you. Why your life never felt normal. You were never meant to blend in. From childhood, you felt different. Too deep, too aware, too sensitive. People called you too much because they were not enough for your frequency. Normal paths bored you. Shallow conversations drained you. You questioned things others blindly accepted. That wasn't rebellion. That was awakening. The burden of seeing what others can't. Being chosen doesn't feel like a blessing at first. It feels like isolation. Like walking alone while surrounded by people. Like carrying knowledge you never asked for. You saw through masks early. You sensed lies without proof. You felt energy before words. That awareness made you a target. Because darkness fears exposure. When the devil realized he couldn't break you, he tried confusion. He tried delay. He tried betrayal through people you trusted. But you're still here. Every attack sharpened your discernment. Every loss strengthened your spirit. Every fall activated something ancient inside you. That's when the enemy knew. You were never meant to fall permanently. The awakening that be stopped. Awakening doesn't arrive gently. It shakes everything. Old identities collapse. Old relationships fade. Old comforts disappear. You question your purpose. You felt lost before feeling found. You outgrew places that once felt safe. That destruction was divine. Because rebirth requires fire. Why society tries to silence you. Truth disrupts systems built on illusion. Awakened souls threaten comfort zones. That's why your voice was mocked. Your ideas dismissed. Your depth misunderstood. They wanted you quiet. Small. Distracted. But heaven wired you to speak. And when you speak, chains break. Signs you were marked before you were born. You survive what should have destroyed you. You attract envy without trying. You feel called to something greater but can't name it. You sense divine timing even in delay. Your intuition speaks loudly. Your conscience is strong. Your soul rejects fake paths. These are not accidents. These are signatures. The moment heaven took notice, there comes a point where endurance turns into authority, where patience turns into power, where heaven says enough, and the enemy is forced to step back. Doors start opening unexpectedly. Clarity replaces confusion. Peace enters where chaos lived. That's not luck. That's alignment. Why the devil was forced to bow. Not because you were perfect, but because you were persistent. You kept choosing light while bleeding. You kept loving while wounded. You kept believing while broken. That kind of faith is dangerous to darkness. It exposes weakness and evil. It summons divine backup. It shifts timelines. And heaven responds. Your pain was never wasted. Every tear carried information. Every heartbreak activated wisdom. Every betrayal trained your discernment. Nothing was random. You were being prepared. Strengthened silently. positioned spiritually. So when the moment came, you would stand unshaken. The new authority you're stepping into. You're not the same person anymore. Your energy has changed. Your tolerance for nonsense is gone. Your standards are higher. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't explain yourself to the blind. You move with calm confidence. That's spiritual authority. Why your presence makes others uncomfortable. Light exposes shadows. Your peace irritates unrest. Your clarity threatens confusion. Your growth triggers those stuck. That's why some people left. That's why distance happened naturally. That's why silence protected you. Not everyone deserves access. And you finally know that. This message is your confirmation. If your chest feels heavy right now, this is for you. If your spirit feels seen, this is for you. If your soul is remembering something ancient, this is for you. You're not late. You're not lost. You're not crazy. You're activated. And heaven is watching. Step fully into who you are. Stop shrinking to be accepted. Stop doubting what you know. Stop apologizing for your depth. You were chosen to stand out. Embrace your calling. Honor your intuition. Walk boldly in your truth. Your light is needed now. More than ever. Chosen one, if this message reached you, respond. Like this video to seal this energy. Comment, I claim my calling, if you felt this truth. Subscribe to Chosen Wave and walk this journey with your soul family. And tell me, when did you first realize you were different? The season of hiding is over. There was a time when staying quiet kept you safe. When blending in felt like survival. When revealing your truth attracted unnecessary battles. That season served its purpose. But now hiding feels painful. Silence feels heavy. Your spirit resists shrinking. That's because concealment is no longer protection. It's limitation. Why everything accelerated suddenly. Notice how fast things are changing. People revealing their true intentions. Situations collapsing without warning. Truth surfacing whether anyone is ready or not. Acceleration is a sign. It means preparation is complete. It means delay has expired. Heaven doesn't rush, but when it moves swiftly. And you're inside that movement. The loneliness that shaped you. You spent nights feeling unseen. Days feeling misunderstood. Moments wondering why connection felt rare. That loneliness was not abandonment. It was refinement. It protected your purity. It prevented contamination. It forced you inward where your power lives. Isolation introduced you to yourself. When people couldn't follow your growth. Some tried to come with you. But their comfort zones held them back. Others misunderstood your transformation as arrogance. They preferred the old version of you. You didn't leave them behind. Your frequency changed. And not everyone can travel where you're going. This is not cruelty. It's alignment. The difference between ego and divine confidence. You're not becoming proud. You're becoming grounded. You're not heartless. You're discerning. Divine confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't prove. It doesn't seek approval. It stands calmly in truth. And lets energy speak. Why your dreams feel different now. Your dreams carry symbols. Messages. Warnings. Confirmations. Your subconscious is tuned into higher realms. You receive downloads while resting. Insights while others sleep. This is not imagination. This is communication. The internal war you won quietly. No one saw the mental battles, the self-doubt you dismantled, the fear you faced alone, the temptations you resisted silently. That victory matters more than applause, because inner wars shape destiny. You conquered yourself, and that terrified darkness, because self-mastery is unstoppable. When your heart broke but your spirit, you loved deeply, trusted fully, gave sincerely, and still experienced loss. But notice this, you didn't harden. You didn't become bitter. You became wiser. Compassion remained intact. That's rare strength. The shift from seeker to carrier. You used to search for answers, teachers, signs, validation. Now answers come through you. People feel peace around you, clarity in your presence. You don't chase light anymore. You carry it. Why darkness retreated without explanation. Some attacks stopped suddenly. Some fears dissolved without effort. Some patterns broke overnight. You didn't even fight back. That wasn't weakness. That was authority. When light stabilizes, darkness withdraws. No noise required. No struggle needed. The responsibility of being seen. Visibility brings weight. People project expectations, assumptions. They're healing onto you. You must stay rooted. Not savior guide. Not absorber channel. Protect your energy fiercely. Even light needs boundaries. When you stopped asking why me, at some point resistance faded. You stopped questioning your path. Stopped envying simpler lives. Stopped wishing to be normal. Acceptance brought peace. Purpose replaced confusion. Meaning softened the pain. You realized this path chose you because you could handle it. The strength in your stillness. You don't react impulsively anymore. You observe, discern, respond intentionally. Silence became your weapon. Calm became your shield. Presence became your influence. This isn't passivity. It's mastery. What happens next depends on you. Awakening is not the end. It's the beginning of responsibility, of conscious choice, of aligned action. You feel the pull toward something greater. Service, creation, leadership in unseen ways. This calling will not fade. The world feels heavier because you're stronger. You sense collective pain, confusion, fear, and unspoken grief. But you're not meant to carry it all. You're meant to anchor stability, to remind others what's possible, to be a calm point in chaos. That is your role. The quiet preparation before the next reveal. Rest when your spirit asks. Withdraw when energy demands it. Not everything needs action yet. Some things need incubation. Heaven often prepares in silence. Before visibility. Before expansion. Before the next assignment. And you're inside that pause. The weight you feel without a clear reason. Some days feel heavier than others. Not because something is wrong, but because your processing shifts before they manifest. Your spirit moves ahead of your reality. You carry transitions early. You feel endings before doors close. You sense beginnings before signs appear. This sensitivity is not weakness. It's spiritual perception. Why distractions no longer work on you. Things that once entertained you feel empty. Noise feels exhausting. Surface-level pleasure doesn't satisfy anymore. Your soul is asking for substance. You crave meaning, truth, depth. That hunger signals elevation. Lower vibrations can't feed a higher calling. The unexplained urge to clean, release, detach. You start clearing space without planning it. Deleting contacts. Letting go of habits. Rearranging your environment. This is not randomness. It's energetic decluttering. Your outer world is aligning with your inner shift. New energy needs room. And you're making space instinctively. When your empathy became discernment, you used to absorb everything. Everyone's pain. Everyone's problems. Everyone's emotions. Now you feel but don't drown. You understand but don't carry. You help but don't rescue. This boundary is sacred. It keeps your light sustainable. While your inner voice is louder than ever. Intuition doesn't whisper anymore. It insists. It redirects. It warns clearly. You've learned the cost of ignoring it. So now you listen. That trust deepens the connection. Guidance flows where respect exists. And you're aligned. The strange calm during chaos. When others panic, you breathe. When systems shake, you remain steady. When uncertainty rises, your clarity sharpens. This calm is not denial. It's inner anchoring. You've learned to stay centered. Rooted beyond circumstances. Storms don't scare grounded souls. They reveal strength. When you stop seeking external validation, you don't need applause anymore. Or permission. Or agreement. Your alignment is enough. You move quietly. Confidently. Intentionally. That self-trust changed everything. Because certainty attracts alignment. The instant recognition between awakened souls. You notice it immediately. No long explanations needed. No masks required. Just a silent understanding. These connections feel familiar. Ancient. Purpose-driven. They don't drain you. They remind you. Why time feels different lately. Days blur. Moments stretch or collapse. You feel both urgency and patience. That's timeline awareness. You're less attached to clocks. More tuned to divine timing. You trust unfolding. Because you've seen precision in delay. Nothing arrives randomly. The subtle invitation to lead without force. People listen when you speak now. Even when you don't try to teach. Your presence carries authority. Earned through experience. You lead by being. Not convincing. Not controlling. Authenticity influences more than noise. And you embody it. When your past no longer defines you. Old labels fall away. Old mistakes lose power. Old stories feel distant. Not denied, transcended. You integrated lessons instead of clinging to pain. That's evolution. Healing isn't erasing the past. It's no longer living there. And you moved on. The patience you didn't know you had. You no longer rush outcomes. Or force alignment. Or chase recognition. You understand maturation. Some things require seasons. Growth respects timing. You allow processes to complete. Because half-formed blessings collapse. And you want permanence. When silence became a language. You say less but mean more. You listen deeper. You observe energy before words. Silence now communicates truth. Not everything needs explanation. Some things need presence. Your quiet speaks volumes. And those meant to hear do. Others were never meant to. The unseen protection around you. You avoided things without knowing why. Missed paths that later revealed danger. Escaped outcomes effortlessly. Grace intervened. That's not luck. That's coverage. You are watched, guided, kept for a reason. What you're being prepared for is bigger than you think. If it were small, preparation wouldn't be this intense. If it were ordinary, resistance wouldn't be constant. If it were temporary, refinement wouldn't hurt this much. Depth precedes impact. You're being stretched to hold more. Influence, responsibility, light, and you're expanding to match it. The pause before the next activation. You might feel stillness now. A waiting, a quiet suspension, not emptiness, containment. This is integration. Power settling into the body. Wisdom anchoring into action. Soon, movement will come naturally. And you'll be ready. The moment you realized you couldn't go back. There was a clear line you crossed internally. Not announced. Not dramatic. Just a knowing. You saw too much to unsee. Felt too deeply to numb again. Truth rearranged your priorities. And returning to who you were became impossible. That point marked permanence. Why comfort started feeling uncomfortable. Stagnation irritates awakened souls. Routine without purpose drains you. Ease without growth feels empty. Your spirit rejects stagnancy. You're designed for movement, expansion, refinement. Discomfort now signals misalignment. Growth calls you forward relentlessly. The inner upgrade you ask for. Sudden clarity arrived. Boundaries strengthened overnight. Desires shifted quietly. You didn't plan this change. Your nervous system recalibrated. Your values refined. Your tolerance narrowed. This wasn't self-help. This was activation. When your energy became your identity. People sense you before they know you. Feel you before understanding you. React without explanation. Energy speaks first. You learn to guard it. Direct it. Respect it. Because where energy flows, outcomes follow. And yours carries intention. The deep sadness that came with awareness. Awakening brings grief. Grief for illusions lost. For versions of people that never existed. For time spent asleep. You mourned quietly. Then released gently. Acceptance followed. Sadness didn't weaken you. It softened you without breaking. Why you no longer argue with the unawakened. Convincing drains life force. You've learned timing matters. Truth meets resistance when delivered early. Silence preserves alignment. You let people arrive themselves. You plant seeds without attachment. You move on without resentment. Wisdom chooses peace over proving. And you embody that. The strange feeling of being between worlds. You don't fully belong to the old. But you're not yet fully immersed in the new. This in-between feels disorienting. Floating. But transitions require liminal space. Metamorphosis happens in stillness. Caterpillars don't rush wings. Trust this phase. It's sacred. When faith became experience, belief turned into knowing. Hope turned into certainty. Spirituality became lived reality. Not theory. You've witnessed alignment firsthand. Felt guidance in action. Seen doors open impossibly. Faith now rests on evidence. Personal and undeniable. The quiet discipline you developed. You manage thoughts consciously. Choose words intentionally. Guard reactions carefully. This discipline creates peace. You no longer feed chaos. Or entertain negativity. Or spiral unnecessarily. Self-regulation became sacred. And it changed your trajectory. Why certain opportunities fell apart. Some paths looked promising, aligned on the surface, but collapsed unexpectedly, saving you. Redirection isn't rejection. It's protection from misassignment. You weren't meant to shrink into roles. You were meant to create new ones. And heaven rerouted you. When solitude turned into sanctuary, being alone stopped feeling lonely. It became nourishing, restorative, clarifying. You hear yourself clearly in solitude. Reconnect with purpose. Realign with intention. This space is holy. Guard it well. The moment you stopped fearing loss, you realized everything removable was temporary. People, roles, identities. What's truly yours remains. What leaves makes room. You trust cycles now. Release feels natural. Fear lost its grip. Why you attract truth over comfort. You ask deeper questions. Seek real answers. Choose authenticity over ease. Your soul demands honesty. This path isn't smooth, but it's real. And real always leads to freedom. Illusions collapse eventually. You chose clarity early. The soft power you now carry. You don't dominate spaces. You stabilize them. You don't overpower. You ground. This is leadership without ego. Influence without force. Strength without noise. It's rare and deeply needed. The signal THAT, you're ready for what's next. Resistance has less power. Fear no longer controls decisions. Intuition leads confidently. You trust yourself. Readiness isn't excitement. It's calm, centered, clear, and you're there. The unseen agreement you made with your soul. Before words, before memory, there was a knowing. A silent agreement to walk a difficult path. To carry light through resistance. To remember when others forget. That agreement is activating now. You feel it as responsibility. As urgency without panic. As purpose without full explanation. Your soul recognizes the assignment. Why trials arrived in waves, not once. One challenge would have been easier. But your path came in layers. Just when you healed one wound, another surfaced. This was intentional. Strength builds in stages. Wisdom matures through repetition. Each wave trained a different muscle. You weren't being punished. You were being fortified. The moment you stopped asking for signs, you used to look outward. Numbers, messages, confirmation everywhere. Now alignment feels internal. Peace replaces proof. You move when it feels right. This is trust embodied. Guidance integrated. When your body started responding to truth, tension appears around lies. Ease follows honesty. Your body signals misalignment instantly. This intelligence is ancient. You listen now. Rest when needed. Withdraw when necessary. Your body became a compass. And you respect it. Why certain people felt draining without doing anything. Energy exchange doesn't require words. Some presences deplete. Others replenish. You notice the difference. This awareness refined your circle. Quality over quantity. Resonance over history. You stopped forcing connection. Alignment replaced obligation. The shift from reaction to response. Old triggers lost their power. You pause before speaking. Observe before acting. Choice returned. This space is freedom. You're no longer controlled by impulse or emotional hooks. Conscious response shapes destiny, and you wield it well. When purpose became heavier than fear, fear didn't disappear. It lost authority. Purpose outweighed hesitation, calling silence doubt. You act despite uncertainty, move despite discomfort, trust despite incomplete vision. Courage isn't absence of fear. It's alignment stronger than fear. The strange protection over your decisions. Some choices just feel blocked. Others flow effortlessly. Resistance guides redirection. Ease signals alignment. You stopped forcing outcomes. You read energy before action. This discernment saves time and preserves integrity. It's divine navigation. Why your presence triggers unresolved wounds. You don't attack. You reflect. And reflection unsettles the unhealed. Your authenticity exposes avoidance. This isn't your responsibility. You remain grounded, compassionate, unmoved. Let others heal at their pace. The internal stillness that surprised you. Even when life intensifies, you're steady. Emotions pass without overwhelming. Thoughts arise without control. You witness. This observer awareness marks maturity. You're not lost inside experiences. You hold them, integrate them, and release. When your words started carrying weight, people pause when you speak. Consider. Reflect. Even when you say little. Truth carries gravity. And you speak from truth. Not urgency. Not ego. But alignment. The end of seeking external permission. You no longer ask if it's allowed. You ask if it's aligned. Authority moved inward. Validation dissolved. This independence frees creativity. Authenticity. Movement. You answer to conscience now. And that's enough. Why the future feels both unknown and safe. You don't see details, but you trust direction. Uncertainty doesn't scare you. It excites gently. You've seen guidance at work, felt protection in motion. Faith rests in experience, and experience builds calm. You're held. The subtle invitation to step forward. Not a push, a pull. Gentle but persistent. Toward expression. Your voice wants use. Your story wants release. Your insight wants sharing. Not loudly, clearly. This is the next layer. The feeling that this message is timed. You didn't find this by accident. Resonance brought you here. Recognition opened you. This moment matters. Timing aligns internally first, then externally. You're sensing readiness before visibility. And that's how it begins. Chosen one. If this message shook something inside you, don't ignore it. Light doesn't reach you by accident. Truth doesn't find you randomly. Your soul was meant to hear this. Now respond. Like this video to seal this activation and tell the universe you're ready. Comment, "I am awakened," if you felt this message speaking directly to your spirit. When did your awakening begin? Subscribe to Chosen Wave and step into a community of souls who refuse to stay asleep. And remember this. You weren't chosen to watch from the sidelines. You were chosen to rise.